The 2012 Value Survey by the Pew Research Center asked Americans 48 political value questions. UnitedIn2012.com arranged them in descending order of the greatest percentage difference being first between Democrat and Republican responses. This video, we're going to look at the number 2 statement that had the greatest percentage difference. The number 2 issue with the largest percentage difference between Democrat and Republican responses was to this statement: the government should help more needy people, even if it means going deeper into debt. The Democrats focused on the more needy people, whereas the Republicans' focus was going deeper into debt. On this statement, the government should help more needy people, even if it means going deeper into debt, there was 105% percentage difference between Democrat and Republican responses. 65% of Democrats agreed that the government should help more needy people, even if it means going deeper into debt, whereas only 1 in 5, or 20% Republicans, thought that was a good idea. If we had a bridge that represented compromise, how much of the bridge would be left to begin to connect each side? Well, in this case, this bridge is completely out. How a Democrat might think in key areas that go into forming their view on sacrificial welfare. At the heart of the Democrat, they may say, well, I have some control of my life. Society has a larger influence if I succeed or fail. So they tend to be much more communally focused and based than the Republican. In the air of their logic, they may say the ends justify the means. Sometimes individual rights need to be sacrificed for the greater good. A millionaire should give back more than others because he owes his country that. Not to do so would be selfish and greedy. Their view on capitalism and government is often that capitalism is the pursuit of greed and selfishness. Government is a force that can restore fairness and equality. Their perception of history may be capitalism and greed have created these great inequalities in our society that need to be restored. On the emotion side, they may say the rich are getting richer while the poor are getting poorer. The most disadvantaged among us need our help, even if we can't afford it. If we can bail out banks, we sure can help suffering Americans. Their hopes and dreams and goals may be for progress, especially what they call social progress, and for change so that there are more equal outcomes. And their view of self and others is that helping others is fulfilling to me. Some people can't help where they are at in life, and we should lift them up. How a Republican might think in key areas that go into forming their view on sacrificial welfare is a lot different than the Democrats. The heart of the Republican, they say, I am in charge of my life. Whether I fail or succeed is up to me. They are much more individually focused than the Democrat in key areas. Their logic may be the smallest minority on earth is the individual. Individual rights are more important than collective rights. My family and I should not have less so that someone who doesn't even try can have more. Their view of capitalism and government is often the exact opposite from the Democrat. They don't see capitalism as the pursuit of selfishness and greed, but instead as the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. And they see government as a force that is often suppressive and should be limited, just as the Founding Fathers instructed. Their perception of history is welfare countries have always gone broke, and their standard of living is way beneath America's. Their emotions. People respond to incentives. Giving free entitlements creates a system that rewards laziness, creates dependency, and does not encourage people to make responsible decisions, all at the expense of hard-working Americans. Their hopes, dreams, and goals is to get people jobs, not welfare. They would like to see a thriving, free market economy in which everyone benefits. Their view of self and others, helping myself and my family, are important to me. That is why I work so hard. As far as helping the needy, let's see how the two sides would answer this question. If you had a baby born in the ghetto, a place that is filled with poverty and violence, what is the fastest, most effective way to get him out so that he has a shot at the same American dream that another child would? Well, believe it or not, the Democrat who says we as society have a responsibility to help those in need, and the Republican who says, I don't mind helping the helpless but not the lazy, also don't waste my money, I want results, they do have a united goal to help the most disadvantaged among society who truly cannot help themselves. As far as helping that baby born in poverty, the Democrat wants to do it in some of the following ways: through public schools, public housing, food stamps, reduce free lunches, Medicaid for the health insurance, or now universal health care, after-school programs, affirmative action to balance out society, job assistance for the parents, and the government is better equipped to help the baby because they can force the right things to happen. The Republican, on the other hand, doesn't look to public schools, but rather wants charter schools to help the child. They don't want public housing, but more charity work like Habitat for Humanity. They're focused on welfare to work programs for the parents, life mentoring classes where you are taught about financial responsibility, leadership, and other things that make you successful and that are necessary in life. They too want after-school programs. They want the private sector help whenever possible, where results and costs are tracked and people are held accountable for those results. They believe the government is not better equipped than the private sector to help the baby get out of poverty faster, because the private sector has to compete and be effective. They see the government as highly inefficient and wasteful with taxpayer money, and that it has failed on its war on poverty.